This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Let's talk about the New York Giants and what the Browns need to do to beat the New York Giants coming into this game. This is an interesting matchup of two teams in very interesting places throughout the season. The New York Giants are in the middle of what feels like for them an avalanche towards being one of the worst teams in the NFL, right? They had some hope that they would be a good team and that they would be able to surprise some folks and, lean on and lean on Daniel Jones to be successful. We all saw the Hard Knocks clip of them saying it'd be the year of Daniel Jones rather optimistically. And so far, the season has not been off to the start that they wish. Now, Browns fans are not at a similar place, but not at a place too foreign from where Giants fans are, where the Browns entered the season feeling like this is going to be the year we justify the Deshaun Watson contract, that he would play at a high level as long as he stays healthy, and that the Browns would be a contender. And right now, we're doing a lot of rebuilding right now, as far as the Browns and their reputation goes, because of an awful game week 1. Now, the Giants weren't awful in week 2. Like, they were fine. They scored 3 touchdowns. Their kicker got hurt, which ended up meaning that they didn't get to kick any extra points, so they lost that game 18-21. The alarming part about the New York Giants' loss last week was that they lost 21-18, but the Washington Commanders did not score a single touchdown in that game. Yes, the Washington Commanders got 21 points on the New York Giants by kicking field goals. Now, maybe that says something about the strength of New York's red zone defense. But what it does mean is that for every drive that the Commanders had in that game, where they had a reasonable chance to score, right? So we're not counting the kneel down at the end of the game or the last possession before halftime that's under 30 seconds. We don't count those two. The Commanders scored on every drive that they got the football against the New York Giants. 100% score percentage per drive on the New York Giants. They gave up 7 scoring drives last week. And again, this is a Washington Commanders team that has their issues. So now they play the Cleveland Browns. What should the expectation be for the Cleveland Browns? And again, remember, I think the Giants played the Saints week 1 this year, who put up a bunch of points on them. So what do we do with that information as Browns fans? We know that this defense has issues. We know that you can sustain drives against this defense. We know that you can score points against this defense, like you saw the Saints be able to do. We saw the Washington Commanders put up 21 points without scoring a touchdown. So what should the expectations for the Browns be in this game? One, the expectation should be that the Browns win this game. I'm not going to go any further than that, but it should be that they should win this game. Now, the second expectation, right? Because winning the game's not just enough. There are a lot of ways that the Browns could win this game that would leave us with a dissatisfied feeling. If the Browns were to win this game sloppily, if the Browns were to sneak out of this game, if the Browns were to win this game, but somehow Daniel Jones hoops on you, if the Browns were to win this game, but Deshaun Watson looks awful versus a defense that has allowed guys to throw on it and run on it all day, you're going to be a little concerned. Now, last week, the Washington Commanders were able to run the ball with a lot of success. Same thing with the Saints the week before. I expect that the Browns should be able to expand on what they've been doing in the run game, right? incremental success from week 1 to week 2. I thought the week 1 run performance was fine, but we're finding out that the Cowboys might not be a great run defense. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I do believe, will be a good run defense by the end of the year, and that performance was even better against them. Now you need to step it up and have a legit great performance here. Here's what I need from the Browns offense this week. I need a good performance. Not just a, hey, it was better than last week performance. I need a good to great performance. I need to feel good about this offense. I need to see explosive plays. I need to see multiple touchdowns. I need to see the Browns offense look like a force. Because my biggest issue with the first 2 weeks of the season is that the Browns have had to move like Pittsburgh on offense. The Browns have had to move like one of these teams that are anemic on offense. And that just simply shouldn't be the case. The Browns have way too much money invested in this offense. They have way too many resources invested in this offense. You change over all those coaches, all of these things. You should look better than this. Now, again, I'll give them some grace. They are installing a new offense. They have a new offensive coordinator in, a bunch of new coaches on staff, and it's not like this unit got a ton of time together in training camp because of injuries and everything else. So there is some grace that I'm going to give this team. But again, if I said last week it was a step in the right direction, that doesn't mean I'm okay with the team deciding to stop walking. You got to continue to walk for any step in the right direction to matter, right? It doesn't matter if you take a step in the right direction if you don't move forward after that step. You got to keep moving forward. That's true for Deshaun Watson. That's true for the offense. That's true for everybody being evaluated. Yeah, last week was a step in the right direction, but now the next step. And then after this week, next step. And then after that week, next step. And then after you do that, do it against a good defense, against Baltimore or Cincinnati, right? You're going to want to see those next steps. And you're not going to be satisfied until the whole process is over. This is part of it. This is another step in the right direction. We could get a good game here from Deshaun Watson. I think that would be helpful, right, if Deshaun had a game. Look, I'm not really married to what the cumulative numbers look like. I don't really think he needs to absolutely hit 250 passing yards. I don't care about that. I need to know how it flows, how it feels. Does it feel like the Browns can get easy offense in this game? Does it feel like the Browns can move the ball at will in this game? Are the Browns able to score a healthy percentage of the drives that they have? That's one thing that I felt really good about in Jacksonville. Felt like the Browns had a good chance to score every time they touched the ball against Jacksonville, right? There were a couple drives in the third quarter that started to lean towards, okay, we're going on a drought on offense, but I thought they short that up by the fourth quarter. They were able to move the ball. So that's one thing you definitely want to feel in this game is that the Browns offense can move this ball at will. That you're not struggling to think that the Browns can move the ball, that they can expand a lead if they get a stop. All of these things are true. You want to see. Again, what the Giants do well, they can pass rush. What they don't do well is almost everything else on defense, right? Their corners are not great. They do mix some things up, so you do get to see Deshaun Watson get to throw against some different looks here. And I think that will be important to see here. But that's what the Giants do well defensively. Offensively, I don't know what their identity is. You're playing against another team like Jacksonville that does not have the identity. So inherently, the Browns are going to have the advantage in this one. The Browns have an identity. The Browns run the ball, and the Browns play great defense. And having an identity gives you an edge over a team that doesn't, right? What do the Giants lean on when it gets tough? They have no clue. Is it Daniel Jones? Is it running the football? Is it throwing to the tight end? I don't know what they do when times get rough for the New York Giants. For the Browns, they run the ball. They play great defense. That's how they dig themselves out of holes. That's not necessarily true for the Giants. They don't really have an identity. So again, the Browns are going to have the advantage in a close game. And for a lot of reasons, I don't think a lot of people want to see a close game between the Browns and the Giants because it wouldn't really be satisfying to beat a team where people feel as lowly about as the Giants closely. But I will say it's the NFL. It is possible that the Giants are capable of playing better. They do have some talented players on offense and defense. So it is possible this game could be close, and it's not really like a woe is me, Browns are in trouble moment. It might just be that the Giants are playing a good game that week. You really got to see how it plays out. But if we look at this on paper, the Giants don't really pose much of a threat defensively to the Cleveland Browns. Offensively, they don't pose much of a threat either. So this is a game where the Browns should win. And if that's the case, it matters how you win. It matters how you get to that victory. And if that's the case, the Browns offense needs to look a lot more explosive. Defensively, you want to see what you see every week from the defense. A lot of 3 and outs, a lot of stops, but our questions aren't really about the defense. Nobody is wondering what the Browns win-loss record is going to be because of the defense. Nobody thinks that that's a real factor in how many games the Browns will lose. The defense is only going to really be a factor in how many games the Browns win. The offense is going to change how you feel about how many wins the Browns are going to have, and that's what you need to see going forward, and you're going to need to see often in this early part of the season before you even feel remotely comfortable going into the tougher stretch of the season. So that's what I want to see this week versus the New York Giants. Let me know what you want to see in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.